Hey, good evening, my friends. How are you? Welcome to another edition of Wednesday Night Live right here on Mike Avery Outdoors. And if you're wondering why we're not out on Saginaw Bay, as I had earlier promised, we've got a pretty strong northeast wind, and it would be tough. The Angler Quest could take it, but it would be tough to shoot a show out there tonight. Plus, Jason Wolverton of the Forward Corporation, who will be joining us, actually works better for his schedule to do it next week. So next week, the plan is here on Wednesday Night Live to be live out on Saginaw Bay. Kevin, good evening, my friend. How are you? Nice to have you along with us. Kevin Coyote Killing King. Craig Plowman is with us this evening. Craig, I bet you're not fishing tonight, are you? It's blowing like crazy. Watching in Mackinac. You guys took the bikes up north, didn't you? Hello, Bruce. Andrew, the wind feels nice. It's helping to cool things down a bit. Absolutely. Just not a good night to be out on Saginaw Bay for Wednesday Night Live. We'll see if we can do it next week. That's the plan. Evening from Costco's. my second favorite store. My first favorite is Jay's Sporting Goods and then Costco's. I love Costco. Kenny Slavens of Jay's Sporting Goods, jaysportinggoods.com. Hello, Ron. How are you? Jim checking in from Tennessee. Always a pleasure. Dennis Bender. Nice to have you along with us. Good evening from Beaverton, Norm says. The beautiful town of Beaverton. Moab, Utah. How cool is that? John's with us. He says, good evening. I'll say good evening right back at you. Storms in Grand Haven tonight, Rod says. Hey, Michelle. How are you? Ed checking in from the Ohio-West Virginia border. From the Ohio-West Virginia border to Saginaw. Brian, good evening. How are you? Richard, how are you, my friend? Could have made Standard Rock yesterday. Superior was flat-ish. What day is it? Mike, what day is it? Mike, what day is it? It's hump day! Hump day! Sam, good afternoon. Another one of our friends from Jay's Sporting Goods, jaysportinggoods.com. Lance Valentine. Oh, my goodness. The man, the myth, the legend, Lance Valentine, a guy who I've been talking to a lot lately because I've made no secret about the fact that I'm struggling out there in that deeper water. I can catch fish in shallow, but I'm struggling out there in deeper water. So I don't hesitate to reach out to my friends, and Lance is one of them. Who is the guy you chat with that fishes Standard Rock? We're planning a trip. His name is Dave Kimar. Dave Kimar, Kimar. Dave Kimar of Kimar's Charters. Indiana checking in. We'll be fishing this weekend. It's free fishing weekend, by the way. They'll be fishing Alpena. Good evening, Scott. How are you? I want to go back. Mad Jack checking in again. Nice to have you along with us, buddy. Lance Valentine. So it's interesting. I've been picking Lance's brain. I'm like, Lance, help me out. Help me out. Because I am struggling. I can do as well as anybody up in that shallow water. But this year, the shallow water bite is just non-existent. So I've got to change my tactics, my techniques, my area. Now, hold on. Here's the border opens June 21st. Has an Angler Quest ever been to Standard Rock? Not that I know of, but Captain John Littlefield is making plans to take one out there this summer. Here's the border. I think you mean heard the border opens June 21st. Now, is this, the border to Ontario? Nancy, talk to me. Talk to me. Are you saying, I'm surprised to hear that because Ontario is still locked down like a dictatorship. Tell me more, Nancy. I haven't heard anything about this. My Angler Quest has never been a Standard Rock, but Captain John Littlefield wants to take one out there. Good evening, Dave. How are you? Nice to have you along with us. I'm still waiting to hear more from Nancy. Yes. Nancy, what's your source on this? What's your source? Yes, news says Canada might open. Haven't heard what the U.S. is going to do. Hey, John, how are you? Good evening. How are you, my friend? Canada might open. Oh, my gosh. Wouldn't that be something if we could get to Canada on a bear hunt yet this summer? But my guy up there, Ron St. Louis, hasn't been baiting, I don't think. Yes, the news says Canada might open. Haven't heard what the U.S. is going to do. Canada, 9 and 10 news. Let me do a quick search here. Ontario border opening. Canada eyeing June 22nd to begin loosening restrictions at U.S. border. Whoa. Oh, ain't that something? I highly doubt it too. Daryl would know because Daryl's up there. That's what I'm thinking too, Daryl. I mean, the way you guys are locked down right now, I can't imagine they're going to open the border and let a bunch of us Americans come in there when you guys have been locked down like you have. And if they do open it, are we going to have to come in and quarantine for 10 days or whatever? Adam got his Michigan brand box. Man, is that stuff good. The Mike Avery Hunter sticks were all gone in one night. Thanks again. Adam, my pleasure. And thank you, Nick Percy. Here's a link from Betsy. I can't click on it, but you might be able to at home there. Ross is saying the same thing. Sure would be nice, but I don't think so. I don't think so either. Well, listen, from what I've seen about the our friends in Canukia, not our friends, because my friends would just as soon have us there. The liberal powers that be in Canada, it's going to require more than a vaccination. I think they're going to require quarantine and everything else, which is a darn shame. You've got outfitters up there now who have missed 2 years of business. Could you survive without 2 years of income? Not many people can. Fortunately, some of the people I know have other jobs, but if that's your job, if you're a fly-in outfitter and you've missed 2 years of all over the local news here in Atlanta. Any news on bow fishing? No, not really. If anything, they probably open up so families can start visiting each other. That's the thing, Daryl. What we don't realize down here, what I didn't realize, is just how tightly you guys are still being locked down. I didn't realize it. I mean, you're locked down. You're not supposed to go anywhere. Not supposed to do anything. Are the hotels and restaurants even open? Alex, I didn't mean to blow you off, but no, I have no new news on bow fishing at all. Nothing new. I talked with somebody from the Bowfish BAM, the Bowfishing Association of Michigan, on the show a couple of weeks ago. But that's it. Atlanta, Michigan, or Atlanta? Nancy, are you down in Atlanta, Georgia? Are you in Atlanta, Michigan? Huh. All right, let me go back to a couple topics at hand here. And I've got a list of things that I want to walk through, including the rundown for this week's Outdoor Magazine show. Oh, by the way, I did 2 podcasts today, too. A Jay's Sporting Goods podcast with John Eberhardt. You know John Eberhardt, Mr. Saddle Hunter himself, Atlanta, Michigan. Okay. Mr. Saddle Hunter himself, talking about a thing they're having at Jay's on June 26th. If you want to learn more about saddle hunting, go to Jay's. They're going to be putting on demos. I also did a Killer Food Plots podcast, and I was talking about this topic right here. The latest edition of Inside Archery featuring Nick Percy of Killer Food Plots. He's on the cover of Inside Archery. How cool is that? So we talked with them about that. Says they would decide on June 21st, possibly start a phased opening. Thank you, Betsy. The rundown for this weekend's Outdoor Magazine radio show. I start out talking with Chad Stewart of the DNR about whitetails, about elk, and about moose. I am convinced that if I am ever going to get a Michigan elk tag, it's going to be this year, but because for some reason, I applied for a cow tag, which is something I've never done and was never going to do. For some reason, I got a wild hair and I applied for a cow tag. If I'm ever going to get a license, it's going to be this year. RJ Meyer is enjoying you in Tennessee. RJ, are you actually Surf Scoter or is Surf Scoter pretending to be RJ? Oh, the Alpena station did too. Interesting, because so did Traverse City. And they are sister stations. Alpena played a repeat of the Memorial Weekend show. Interesting. We thought we had it's not on our end. We're uploading the right shows. We thought we had a problem with the receiver, Ed, at WTCM. You are Surf Scoter. I am Surf Scoter. How'd you come up with that name, RJ? Oh, my friend. Nice to hear from you, buddy. RJ, don't you wish we were going to Ontario? I haven't seen you in too long, dude. Are you still old? If I get an elk cow tag, you give it to your grandchild. If I get an elk cow tag, I'm not giving it to anybody. But this will be the year. And then Randy Booty, you've seen Randy here on the Facebook page of Savage Dog Outdoors talking about summertime coyote hunting. Jim Francis from the DNR reminds us if you get a muskie in Michigan and you're going to keep it, you have to register that fish. You can do it online. Now you don't need a muskie tag. This week's Ask Avery segment dealing about Michigan fish hatcheries. And in hour number 3, one of your favorite guests on the radio show, because you've told me that, Paul Phillips. Paul Phillips, one of the best extreme long-range shooters in the world. Sam says he finally switched over 2 years ago and applied for any elk. I figure if I draw anything, it'll be a trophy. Good point. So people don't find you. Yes, on the Ontario trip, Michigan, isn't it? RJ, are you wanted? Did you do something down there to get in trouble now? Are the authorities after you? RJ Meyer, just a wonderful friend of mine, just a sweetheart of a guy. I love RJ. Miss him dearly. Tim from Ohio visiting the UP this week. My wife and I took a beautiful lake trout fishing trip on Lake Huron near Mackinac. Beautiful country, indeed it is. Jim checking in from Pratt Lake near Gladwin. Surf Scoter. I'm going to have to keep an eye out for Surf Scoter. Anyway, Paul Phillips. You know him from the show, right? The guy who is literally, he's a Michigan guy. He is literally one of the best extreme long-range shooters in the world. Documented shots at 4 miles. Guess what they're trying to do now? 5 miles. Josh says a lot of yotes behind his house lately, barking and yelping from 11 till 1 a.m. almost every night the past 2 weeks. Scott Keatsman of Lindward Taxidermy says Surf Scoter is hiding down in West Tennessee because he's kind of a big deal, you know. He is. RJ Meyer, a.k.a. Surf Scoter, is a big deal. If I was to turn my camera around, and I'm just not going to, I might a little bit, you'll see some of RJ's work, okay? Where are we going here? RJ's work, right? RJ's work, Surf Scoter's work. Surf Scoter's work. Surf Scoter's work. My house is filled with Surf Scoter's work. Paul just says, what's up with bear hunting in Ontario, Paul? Just got word that the monarchy in charge of Canada might let people in. Jim's in West Tennessee also. Jim, you should look up Surf Scoter. Dave just booked a trip with Kimmer Charters for Standard Rock on July 5th. Excellent. Evan's ready to head up to the bay, pull some flicker shads. So am I. I love flicker shads. I'm not having any luck. Honest to goodness, I am struggling, and I'll get to this subject here in a little bit, but I want to talk with you for a few minutes. Yes, I do love bear hunting. What's my favorite bear bait to hunt over? I don't think I have a favorite. My favorite bait is whatever is going to bring them in. I've hunted over everything from Twinkies to beavers. One of the biggest bears I ever shot was over a beaver. A beaver is like bear candy, bear cocaine. Some people use meat for bait. Some people use grain. Some people use candy. Some people use pastries. Dave says RJ has done 4 of his bucks. Nice work. He does wonderful work. At least he did back when he was working. Surf Scoter. Now that I've got your Facebook alias, dude, you're in trouble. Let's talk about confidence in the outdoors, okay? I think we all know that when we head out hunting or fishing, that it's no guarantee, right? There's no guarantee that we're going to catch a bunch of fish, that we're going to shoot anything or whatever. But I've always said the experience is the experience. Meaning it's not the kill, it's not the harvest, it's not the catch, but it's the act of being out there, experiencing nature and matching wits with some kind of a critter, whether it's a fish or an animal. To me, that is the high point. But I've noticed over the years that if I walk into the woods and I have some confidence, or on the water especially, if I'm confident, confidence leads to success, which leads to more confidence, which leads to more success. It's a beautiful circle. If you have confidence in what you're running, where you're running it, how you're running it, how fast you're running it, how deep you're running it, the colors you're running it, you're going to catch more fish. And when you start catching more fish, you're going to feel more confident, and you're going to parlay that into something better. How far back do I run my flicker shads? Up in my beloved skinny water, I would run them 20 to 60 feet, 30 to 50 usually. Out in deeper water, that's the question. I don't know. Getting a lot of antler growth out past the years on game cam is good. Well, Don says, well said. I appreciate that. Thank you. And right now, I don't have any confidence in my ability to catch Saginaw Bay walleye out in the deeper water. Now, what is deeper water? To me, crawlers don't give me confidence. Although, Josh, I will tell you, I was so interested and so willing to find a technique that would catch fish. We ran crawlers last week up in the skinny water. We ran crawlers. Couldn't even get those to go in skinny water. So skinny water is off the map in my book. Was on the bay the other day. You could see bottom in 18 feet of water. Dave, that's why my skinny water is so unproductive. You can't go up in 9 feet of water now that's crystal clear and expect to find walleye in there midday. It's not going to happen. And that's what I'm dealing with. Evening, Raver Bay. How are you? It looks more like Traverse Bay than it does Saginaw Bay. So for my style of fishing up in that skinny water that's usually dirty, it's got a lot of color to it, to now have to go out into 24, 25, 26 feet of water that you can see 15 feet down in, it's a whole different ballgame for me. So that's what I'm trying to figure out. That's what I'm trying to deal with. Diver was in the streets the other day. Hundreds for I got to figure out. A diver was in the streets the other day. 100 for the water, and you could see clear. Tony, I was out there Monday, and it was still clear. A diver. I'm not following you. I know you're talking about clear water, but I'm not following what you're saying. So I don't have confidence, but I will stay with it. Sorry, he meant to say 100 feet of water. 100 feet? Whoa! Northeast wind had the state park looking dirty tonight. That's good. Have you tried attaching a twister tail to the rear hook of your flicker shad? No, I haven't. All right, Ross, have fun. You're right, Josh. We need a bunch of mud to come out of the river. A lot. And I don't think it's going to happen this summer. Josh, you're a skinny water rat. Have you been doing any good up in there, or do you have to go deep as well? Hey, Mike, do you know of any news on what vendors will be at the Total Archery Challenge at Boyne Mountain this weekend with new hunting products? Mike, I do not. I'm sorry, I do not. In fact, I don't know anything about that event at all. So I'm absolutely no help to you. I didn't even know what was going on, to be honest with you. So I have to apologize for that. It'll be a great night for a ride, Ross. Have fun. So this challenge, and listen, so I've talked to a lot of different people. I have fished flicker shads. I have fished spoons. I have fished lead core. I have fished jet divers. I have fished tadpoles. I have fished shallow. I have fished mid depth. I have fished the bottom, and I have tried several different locations. So it's not like I'm just sitting back waiting for the fish to come to me. I'm working for them, but I'm not getting them. Did great last Saturday, 29 to 33 feet. We had an outing at a sunset. That's deep on Saginaw Bay. That's deep, which makes me think, because the way you said that, Josh, you're not doing anything up in the skinny water either. It's just not going to happen this year. Hence my lack of confidence and my quest to try to figure some things out. You got to go to Spinners and Worms. That ain't going to happen, Rob. Because you know why? You know why, Rob? Because we used spinners and crawlers last week. Like I said, I don't want to say I was desperate, but I was so open to trying something else in hopes that I could catch fish up shallow. I allowed my buddy Tony to sneak some crawlers onto the boat. And we couldn't get a bite on crawlers up in there. So that's when I officially pulled the plug on the skinny water. I got to go deep. Fishing on mullet's tough right now, too. Wish I was playing golf. Yes, I had crawlers on the new boat. Yes, I did. They'll get hungry about next Friday, right, Jim? See what I'm doing here, Jim? I'm setting this up. I'm setting you up so that if we catch 3 fish, you're going to be excited. That's what I'm doing, Jim. Because I have a trip with Jim and his family next Friday. And I'm praying that I get something going by then. Josh says he's more confident in deeper water than shallow. I didn't realize that. Run until the graph shows fish, as Lance and Mr. Romanek always tell us. I didn't know that. I thought you were a skinny water guy, Josh. I can't get my graph to show bottom. I can just barely get it to show bottom at about 20 miles an hour, but I can't get it to mark fish. I need to adjust the transducer. Lance, are you still here? Do you have a problem getting a good signal at high speed on your Angler Quest? And is your transducer where they put it on at the factory? And by the way, folks, if you're joining tonight, my name is Mike Avery. This is Wednesday Night Live. If you thought you were going to tune in and see Lance Valentine, not Lance, see Brad Dupuis of Angler Quest Boats and I, along with Jason Wolverton of the Forward Corporation, we were supposed to be on Saginaw Bay tonight, walleye fishing with spoons and lead core and jet divers. I was going to ask Brad to walk us through his deep water system. He is a master at that. But we have a pretty good northeast wind out there right now, and it would have been, although the boat could take it, it would have been pretty tough to shoot a quality show. So that's why we're not out there tonight. The plan is, weather permitting, we will be out there next week. Rob says he's hearing rumors about the border. Rob's up there in White River as well. Rob, we desperately want to come up and see you guys. You know that. Josh says a buddy forces him in there sometimes. He usually does well. Well, I used to do well in there too, Josh. Good evening, Rick. How are you? How come Lance is called Lance and Mark Romanek is called Mr. Romanek? Are you dissing Lance in some ways, Josh? I'll look for it, Rob. So it's an interesting year. It is truly an interesting year. For the first time in about 30 years, literally 30 years, like I've been fishing Saginaw Bay for walleye ever since they reestablished the walleye population out there. And especially the last several years, I've had complete confidence that I could go out there and catch a bunch of fish. I don't have that confidence right now. But I've got to get it back. I've got to get it back. And I will. Well, I don't know. Let me rephrase that. I'm not going to give up because that's not my personality. I will keep working on it until I either break through, figure something out, or run out of time. But I'll keep trying it. Oh, Rob, let me see if I can see your picture. I can't. I can't. My phone and my computer are tied up, Rob. I can't look at it right now. Hopefully, it's a great big bear on one of the baits there, huh? I can't see. I can't see it. John's got to go. Heading out a bit early. All right, John, you're forgiven. You're forgiven. Bad day of fishing, still better than most. Keep that attitude in mind, Jim. Adam says this past winter, Adam, who won our Michigan brand giveaway last week, Adam says this past winter was the worst he's done on the ice on the bay in years. It's a different fishery. Evening, Jerry. How are you? It's a different fishery. You've got to believe the blowing out of the dams upstream is playing a role in this. You've got to believe that the lack of rain is playing a role in this. The water level on Saginaw Bay has dropped 1.5 feet since October. Is that a factor? My dock is sitting way up in the air now. I took we took a family river cruise last week. And I had a hard time getting my in-laws in and out of the boat because it was a good reach. Remember, it's walleye fishing, not bass fishing. I'm not sure what you mean by that, John. Other than if you're saying that bass are suicidal and they'll hit anything, then I get what you're saying. You need a good walleye fishing trip? So do I, Ron. So do I. Josh, who is also out there a lot, says last winter was tough for sure. And Josh, isn't it... there's no, we're not having a walleye for Warriors event again this year, but hopefully next. Hopefully next that'll come back around. Josh, you'll know what I'm talking about when I say this. There have been good reports of catches out by the Cigar, and I think we know why the Cigar would be giving anglers fish right now, right? You and I know why. Speaking of that, I wish I saw it, Rob, but I can't see it. I mean, I saw it come in, but I can't take a look at it. Mike says he was over last week catching a lot of sheeps. Sheeps. Bah, 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 bah. All we can do is keep trying. There was a comment here that I wanted to follow up on, but I don't find it now. I apologize for that. Hey, a reminder here while my brain is spinning trying to pick up the next traction on the next thought. I want to save you some money. 3 different ways to do it. If you go to outdoorpregame.com, use the promo code Mike20, you can save big money on everything on the outdoorpregame.com website, including the Wraith 270 see-through blind and including that new Breeze blind that I hunted the last day of turkey season out of, and I fell in love with that as well. Yeah, you're fishing. Mike is fishing with Lance tomorrow. Lance, if you're still on, Mike is a tremendously great guy. Mike, Lance is a great guy. I will look forward to seeing how your trip goes. The handline comment in 30 feet sounds good. I didn't see that one. Jason. Also, you can save 25% on your MUCC membership by going to mucc.org using the promo code Mike, all caps. And finally, a Michigan brand, if you use the promo code Mike21 at michiganbrand.net, Mike21 at michiganbrand.net, you can save 20% on everything on their website. And as Nick Grillo of Michigan Brand told us last week, There's a new store locator on there where if you put in your zip code, it'll tell you where you can buy Michigan brand products nearby. It was made by Raber Bay. Let me go back to Raber Bay, see if I can find him here. Raber Bay, hand lining. There we go. Hand lining in 25 to 30 feet. That does sound interesting. It does. Huh. Yeah, Mike, I'll be, I tell you what, Mike, whether or not you catch a ton of fish, you will have fun fishing with Lance Valentine. Mike Streeter, guy I've known forever, said going for gills on Lime Lake tomorrow. The only people on the Wednesday Night Live tonight who know where Lime Lake is me and Mike Streeter. Mike, did you see about Jeff Rowland? Did you see that? You know we're getting old, buddy, when we have conversations like this, right? You keep them or repel us right in the strike zone all the time. Well, there's nothing better than having the rod in your hand when a fish hits, right? I mean, I love trolling, but jigging is the best. Brian says he knows where it is. You won't be able to post it. You won't be able to post it here, Rob. I don't think you can post it here on StreamYard, which is the platform that I'm using. So I will have to open it up when I am done. I can tell you this. I did try crawlers. I'm not afraid to mention that. And let me get one thing straight here right now, right? I joke around a lot about night crawlers and how I hate them. That's about 85% joke. I do it just to get a rise out of people, just to have something to talk about. It's about 15% truth. I'm not a big fan of crawlers, but it's not like I'm opposed to them. It's not like I'm grossed out by them. It's not like I think they're dirty. I just don't like trolling at a mile an hour. That's why I don't like crawlers. You can't cover enough water. But we did try them. Because if it would have taken crawlers to catch fish this summer, I would have ran crawlers. I would have run crawlers. But it didn't work. So there's no more crawlers on the Angler Quest for the rest of the summer. Yes, it is in my old stomping grounds. Brian, remind me, are you the Rockford guy? If so, you would know where Lime Lake is. Hey, Craig, how are you? That's a cool, what do we call it? It's not an emoji. It's not a, whatever your symbol is right there. I like that. The red UP and Lower Peninsula. Nice, nice. Lindy Rig and Leeches, Sand Lake. You're from Sand Lake. Brian, I don't even know if Sand Lake still has a 4th of July festival and fireworks on the 4th of July. But when I was growing up in Cedar, that's what we did 4th of July. We went up to Sand Lake and we watched the fireworks. This was after I was done hauling hay or working at North Kent Golf Course. But we used to go to Sand Lake and watch the fireworks. Man, I haven't run a Lindy rig in a long time. And I probably haven't run them more than half a dozen times in my entire life. I know they work. The Wisconsin and Minnesota guys love them. They do still have it. Pretty cool. Pretty cool. Oh, what else you want to talk about tonight? I got a few more minutes. I probably won't stick around till 45 past the hour tonight. Old school. Got sheephead on the bay the other day. Well, the thing about sheephead, Dave, is they fight really well, don't they? They fight really well. Sheephead put up a tremendous fight. They're a lot of fun. If you get a kid, like if I get my grandkids, not the older one, because he knows it's a sheephead, it's not a walleye. But Carter in particular, you get a sheephead onto the end of the line with Carter, and he's happy as could be. Bad day of fishing is better than a good day at work. Absolutely. The only caveat on that is if fishing is your job. John, you've mentioned this a couple times, so I'll make sure to talk about it right now. Forest fire is a real danger this year. Remind people to be careful. John, I don't have to remind them because you just did, and thank you for that reminder. It is dry. We've had a little bit of rain here in mid-Michigan, but it's still dry, and it's been hot. So please I'll put my Smokey Bear hat on, and not Smokey the Bear, Smokey Bear hat on, and say only you can prevent forest fires. It is interesting. If you look at the cause of most fires in Michigan, and I don't know about nationwide, probably, but in Michigan, they're not caused by Mother Nature. They're not caused by lightning strikes. They're caused by people forgetting to do the right thing. They're caused by people throwing a cigarette out the window or a cigar out the window or burning trash in the backyard or having a campfire and walking away without it being completely out. And people don't intentionally start fires. Of course not. But yeah, you do have to be careful. If for nothing more, and of course you don't want to burn down the resource, but keep in mind, if you are found guilty of starting a fire, you can be held liable for all the firefighting costs. And that can add up. I mean, you get a couple of different townships involved, you get the DNR involved. Man. Craig says he wished he would have gone fishing today. He played fireman this morning. I bet it was hot this morning, Craig. Kevin says, dang, it's hot. It is. Mike says, use Speedy Blaze so your fire burns hot and clean, then there's no worries. I love Speedy Blaze. We're not giving any away tonight, but I love Speedy Blaze. It burns hot. I burn it in a solo stove. It burns right down to ash. Yeah, Craig says it was very hot this morning. My name is Mike Avery. This is Wednesday Night Live. The website is MikeAveryOutdoors.com. That's MikeAveryOutdoors.com. We're looking at doing a little bit of a revamp of that website here over the next month or so. You can always reach me, Mike at MikeAveryOutdoors.com. The email address is Mike at MikeAveryOutdoors.com. If you have a question, a comment, we do need rain. We do. And we need it to be about 20 degrees cooler in June, don't we? This 90-degree temperature makes me think it's August. And that's why I don't like August, because it gets so darn hot. I usually like June a lot. Because usually, all right, John, have a good day. Because usually, or good night, I should say. Because usually in June, the walleye fishing for me on Saginaw Bay is on fire. I'm hoping, it's dropped down to 73 right now in Bay City with a hard northeast wind. That's why we're not fishing tonight, Anthony. Anthony is one of my fellow skinny water rats. It's warmer than 73 here. I'm about 20 miles from you, Anthony. Raber Bay said that's why their walleye are in deep water right now. All right, my friends. I hope to fish Friday. Tomorrow, I'm actually having some oral surgery. I get to go to the oral surgeon, which I got to be honest with you, I'm not really looking forward to. But it's got to be done. And then hopefully Friday I'll be fishing. Jim, I will look forward to it. I will do my best to get you guys fish. I promise you that. I will do whatever I can to try to get some things figured out. Even if it means hooking a line on Lance Valentine's boat and just having him pull us around as we troll. No problem, Dave. No problem. All right, Mike, listen, I'm very excited for you on your trip tomorrow. Are you driving over in the morning or are you already on this side? You did that Friday. It sucked. What did you do Friday, Sam? What did you do Friday that sucked? I saw a comment here from you, Sam, that I didn't get to answer. Let me see if I can go back and find it. I saw you were on board here, and then you made a comment, and I didn't get to respond to it. What was that? I can't find it. What did you do? You're driving over in the morning. Rob, are you serious? 110 in the city right now? Oh, you did it. You went to the oral surgeon, and it sucked. I have a feeling my experience might suck too. But I got to be honest with you, it's hurting bad enough right now that I'm ready to get something done with it. All right, my friends. And Mike, let me know how you do tomorrow, please. You're going to have a good day on the water with Lance. There's no doubt about it. Listen, copy down his waypoints and his depths and his speeds and let me know. I'm just kidding, because if I called Lance and asked him those questions, he would tell me the answer to them. He's very, very open with his information. All right, my friends, I can do it. Jody says, I can do it. I can do it. I can do it. I know I can. I know I can. I'm like the little engine. I know I can. I'm like the big bald headed guy. I know I can. Did you miss not having a buzzer tonight, by the way, because we didn't give something away? There will be no anesthesia tomorrow, Jim. It's just a local. I asked him about that because I got to drive myself. I said, "You're going to knock me out or what?" They said, No, it's a local. Thank you, Jerry. Appreciate that. All right, Sam, you have a good night as well. By the way, folks, if you go to the archery department at Jay's and Claire and you need a bow worked on, or if you're looking for some advice, or if you have a question, all of the guys there are good to work with. But Sam Austin, whose comment is on here right now, is really outstanding. He's one of the best. Sam, I do have to tell you, and this is a whole nother topic, but I'm actually thinking I'm gonna get away from shooting my recurve, from hunting my recurve, as much as I love it, and I do. I actually am quite confident I'm going to go back to a crossbow for hunting season for the fall. How do you, when you smoke a sucker, how do you keep it lit? Got to have the buzzer. This show will end in 3, 2, 1. Show is over. Have a good night, my friends.